Good afternoon, gardening friends. It's now January 27th at around 3 o'clock. Just wanted to show you I've been making some progress with rebuilding stuff and dealing with some things. The boxes you see on the bottom there, those have been built and secured, and I've added more glue and done everything I can. Now I can take the tape off, which I was using as a clamp, and put them up on the wall. The boards up on top that you see, 2 stripes of tape going across each, those had all broken when I was removing the sides from the small planter boxes. So I've glued those back together using the better glue, and hopefully there'll be enough there that I can build at least a couple more boxes. So I'll come back when I've got some stuff on the wall. Okay folks, so it turns out I forgot about one issue here. The big box, how can I explain this? The wood that I used to build this is not perfectly square in every dimension. So after I built it, I discovered a number of gaps. Now I think those gaps may have been the beginning of the end for the boxes when I built them the first time. So what I'm doing is using tape as a sort of a dam or a formwork, and pouring glue into the gaps. The rest of it's all joined together. It's just that when you put all the pieces together, there's no way of avoiding those gaps because they're not square in every dimension. So by pouring the glue in, what I'm hoping is it'll at least seal the water from trying to escape out of there, and with some luck with gravity, and that's why it's turned up on end, the glue will pour itself into that gap and actually create a bond. That should make the boxes that much stronger. When I pulled the other 2 boxes, I pulled all the tape off of them and put them up on the wall. They did feel really strong, like one piece of wood. So that's what I've got here, and I'll keep going along. Good morning, gardening friends. It's now January 28th. It's what time is it? It's about 11:15 in the morning. And I wanted to show you a couple of things I've been working on since yesterday. I was filling these gaps in the boxes in hopes of sort of reinforcing them with the glue, and I noticed that in this one particular box I actually put a bunch of glue in there, and it appears to have sunk down kind of what I wanted it to do, fill in the gap. It sunk down more than I expected, so I'm going to have to put more glue, so this box will take a little bit longer before it's ready to go. But that's that box. Next to it I have a pile of scrap wood. Some of it's been reconstructed, which explains the tape. It split, so I re-glued it back together. That should be enough to get me almost, to be able to put together almost 2 boxes. And up on the wall here we've got the deconstructed remains of the last 10-inch box that I put together before I discovered the glue problem. So I went to go pick it up and it almost fell apart on me. So I've gone ahead and taken it apart, and I'm going to re-glue it yet again. And this is scrap wood from one of the red small planters that I've taken down, emptied out. I was debating what to do with the wood because the wood curls much more badly than, much worse than the cedar. But I'm basically figuring I can deconstruct these boxes, I can maybe do some glue repairs, and then I'll figure out, I might end up just building some 10-inch boxes out of these, because the old design I was using nails to put them together. With the glue, I might be able to keep some of that curling under control. I don't know. It may backfire on me, but it would provide me with enough wood to completely fill out the wall without spending any more money on wood. So we'll see. Hey, my first really pleasant surprise and sign of progress for 2014. I've got squash flowers. Now the squash were actually planted last year, but I'm just happy to see a flower there. Let's see if it turns into a fruit. Okay folks, so it's a little bit later. I've gone through all of the scrap cedar that I had and selected the 6, 7, 8 best pieces, whatever, made 2 more 10-inch boxes out of it. So let me show you those. So here they are. It's actually, there's one in the back that's already been cooking, and it's the one in the front and the one on the right that are the new ones. The one on the right, if you look carefully, hopefully you can see it, there's quite a bit of glue towards the back of it. Because these were sort of the last of the scraps and stuff that I glued back together, and it's basically the end of the good wood. There's just a huge gap back there, and I kept trying to figure out why it ended up with such a big gap, but doesn't really matter. I'm going to try and fill it with glue. We'll see if that works. If it doesn't, oh well, it was scrap wood that I used to build it, so the only thing I'm really out is some tape and glue. So that's it for building for today, I think. I'm looking at the red wood and seeing if I can figure out what to do with those scraps. Good afternoon, gardening friends. It's now, Wednesday the 29th at about 2:30 in the afternoon. I've been through all my scrap wood. Last night I came up with a really cool idea for some other stuff I'm going to work on here. Still has to do with the garden, still has to do with the boxes I'm putting up on the wall, but I mapped it all out and realized I needed a lot more scrap wood. So that's 33 pieces, including all the red boxes, which I've now disassembled, sanded, measured, and I'm about to catalog. And with that I should be able to compare to the design that I came up with and see if I've got enough wood to actually build it. That would be pretty amazing if I could actually complete the wall with a nice, neat, new little design thingy, which I'll just show you when it's done. But it'd be really cool to be able to finish that with just scrap wood. So we'll see. Good morning, gardening friends. It's now January 30th at about 11:30 in the morning. Yesterday I made more progress, but you can see one of the boxes fell apart. That's one of the 20-inch boxes, so time to sand it down, clean it up, and glue it back together with the new glue. Who knows how many more boxes are going to fall apart. Meanwhile, I also managed to cut enough pieces for one more box, which is part of this, what I'm doing with the red wood. Carefully measured everything. It's going to be an interesting little design, you'll see when I'm done. But I got that together, so I'm basically going to end up building at least 2 boxes today, letting them cook. They got to cook for at least 24 hours, and then we'll see where we go from there. Good morning, gardening friends. It's now Friday, January 31st at about 10:30. That's my gardeners in the background. And last night, you know, we had, it was supposed to be a 20% chance of rain. They were talking like drizzle, and usually that means that we just might get a little bit of a mist. We actually had some precipitation last night, more than I expected. Had I known it was going to be more, I probably would have pulled some of the wood off the wall. So I've got over on the left there, right over, let me see if I can get my hand in picture, right over there, is I've got my stacks of wood that I had gone through in anticipation of building some more boxes. They were all sitting on the shelf, and the water hit them on the shelf and soaked right through, so I've laid everything out. You can even see some on the steps there. It's all drying out before I can put anything together. Also, I had 3 of the 10-inch boxes you can see up on the steps there. At least I hope you can see them. Those were sitting on the wall and they got pretty well soaked, but that'll be a good test in terms of how well these boxes hold up under exposure to water. If they can survive this without falling apart, then I think I'm in good shape. But I've now got them up on the steps just to protect them because it's still dripping from up above. The sun is out, but basically today appears to be, it's going to be a drying out day. Off on the far shelf in the back there, you can see I got a couple of boxes I was working on yesterday. I did think to pull those in because I had just glued them up. And actually, now that I look at the one on the right there, is actually kind of tweaked a little bit. I'm hoping that's not going to cause a problem in the end. But anyway, I did think to bring those in and just lay them on some newsprint inside, and that kept them from getting wet. So now I'm just adding a little glue where necessary on those, and it's about all I'm going to be able to accomplish in the garden today, I think. So that's it for today. Good morning, gardening friends. It is now February 1st at a little before 9 in the morning, and I came out to check on the wood that got soaked. It's still a little bit moist, so I flipped them all over like a pancake, and they're drying out yet again. You can see them all kind of lined up right along there. So that's, I think, pretty much it for this episode. I think I have enough for a full episode. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. And today I'll try to get back to building some boxes, and that'll be in the next episode. So until next time.